Welcome to the first episode of Season 4 of the Maine Famous podcast. I'm your host, April Shaw-Beaudoin, and I am joined by my co-host, Vanessa Santarelli of Your Maine Concierge. Today's episode takes us to Saddleback Mountain, where the comeback story is as compelling as the skiing. I sat down with CEO Matt Dietrich and GM Jim Quimby to talk about what it took to bring the mountain back to life and why Saddleback was just named the #1 ski resort in the East by Ski Magazine. If you've ever wondered what makes this place so special or what's coming next for the 2026 season, this conversation pulls back the curtain. Matt and Jim share the highs, the challenges, and the heart behind a mountain that means everything to Rangeley. Make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And now, a message from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Simon Griffiths, President and CEO of Camden National Bank. Camden National Bank is celebrating 150 years of standing beside the people, businesses, and communities that make Maine and New Hampshire home. And at the heart of it all is you. We're thankful that you've trusted us with your financial journeys and allowed us to grow alongside you. From our humble beginnings with one location in downtown Camden to now having 72 banking centers, every step of the way has been made possible because of your support. Even as we've grown, one thing has remained: our deep commitment to the communities we serve. We're not just here to offer financial guidance. We're here to show up, lend a hand, and be a true partner through life's big moments and everyday milestones. We're especially grateful to Maine Famous for shining a light on the local businesses and neighbors who shape the heart of the mountains regions in Maine. Thanks for being part of our story.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Morning, how are you?
We're great. We're very excited that we're here at Saddleback Mountain with the beautiful fireplace, which we might try to put a fire in a little bit later today. And we're going to be chatting all about the exciting things that are happening at Saddleback Mountain. But first, I thought we could get to know both of you just a little bit. So one of the things Maine Famous does is it celebrates Maine. We celebrate the beautiful state that we get to live in. We celebrate the people who live here, who love it here. And we celebrate the business owners who choose to spend their whole lives dedicated to the work that they do. And I know, Jim, you have been here at Saddleback for how long?
Oh, literally 2/3 of my life.
2/3 of your life.
I grew up here as a kid and born and raised in Rangeley, and did a stint in the military, and that's the only time I've been gone.
And you raced back here.
I raced back here. I traveled all over the world, and I literally could have gone anywhere. I had opportunities all over the states, and I raced back here. I was ready to come back to Maine. I love Maine. I love the Western Mountains of Maine, the people of the Western Mountains of Maine. And I would not want to live anywhere else.
All right. And what about you, Matt? Are you a lifelong Mainer?
I cannot claim that I am a true Mainer.
Oh, you can claim that you're a true Mainer.
Well, I wasn't born here. So, yeah, I grew up in northern New Hampshire, small town. I'm really a small town kid, love the mountains and love being outside. I learned to ski when I was about 5 years old, and it's just kind of in my blood.
And I mean, one of the interesting things about everyone in Maine and everyone sitting at this table today is that we could all be anywhere in the world, and we all choose to be here in Maine. And I lived in New Hampshire for a while. Vanessa also lived in New Hampshire for a while.
Don't mention that.
And why are you in Maine? What is so special about Maine that you said, hey, I got to get there and I want to live there?
I think for me, it was the combination of all of these great sort of geographic features. You know, you can be in the mountains and you can be on the coast within a matter of 2 to 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And so you have this great opportunity to, participate in all kinds of activities and, look at a sunset or a sunrise on the ocean and a sunset in the mountains, on the same day. Mm-hmm. There aren't many places that you can really enjoy all of those attributes in a single place.
Last night's sunset on Mooselook-McGuntick was wild.
Yeah, I saw pictures last night.
It was gorgeous.
Just speaking of sunsets.
Yeah. And how long have you been in Maine now?
I moved here in 1998.
Okay.
So I've certainly been around for quite a while.
Yeah. And you have been in the ski industry that whole time?
Yeah, not entirely. After grad school, I came to work for the American Skiing Company, and I was there for 9+ years. Spent a few years over at Bretton Woods as well, which is was 15 minutes from where I grew up. And then got out of the industry after 2009 when the real estate market completely imploded. And then just found myself kind of drawn back to it. And when this opportunity popped up, I really couldn't say no.
Yeah. I think that the town was devastated, during the period of time when the mountain was not open. And I know, Jim, you speak so eloquently about emotionally what that impact felt like as a lifelong resident here. But maybe share a little bit for folks that aren't aware of that evolution from the mountain having this storied history to being shut down and the feeling, and then the community kind of bringing it back to life.
So that's the only sad part of this story we're going to talk about.
Yes.
But when the day Saddleback closed was one of the toughest days of my life. It means so much to me as a person, because I grew up here as a kid. I started skiing here in the early 60s or mid 60s. I don't remember when, back in the old Saddleback with the old lodge. And my dad worked here from 1963 till 85. And my mother worked in the cafeteria. And so literally every day that I wasn't in school, I was at the ski area, and I had this life, and all my friends were up here, and we absolutely terrorized this place as a kid. We terrorized it, and not malicious or rude or mean. We just skied hard, played hard, and stuff like that. So for me, I couldn't imagine a better life than that. I couldn't imagine a better life to live with that. And when the mountain closed, which was very unfortunate, because I will mention the Berries put their heart and soul in it. They did the best that they could to keep this place open. Everything. They dedicated everything to it. And I thank them, but it finally hit a wall. And when it hit a wall, we were right over in that room right there when the decision was made. And it was a tough day. And that was my job for the 5 years of closure. They kept me here. I never left a day of the 5 years of closure. And they kept me here to try to keep the place presentable and try to meet with potential buyers and stuff like that. And that's what I did for 5 years. And but for what it did to the town, Rangeley survived. Rangeley is a surviving town. They survived on snowmobiling and whatever else they could do. And the school kids are what I felt the worst about. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, geez, Jim, I feel bad for you. Or, geez, Jim, I feel bad for the condo owners. And I feel bad for this. I feel bad for that. And I was always look at them and I say, I feel bad for the kids. The kids lost pretty much winter activity. And we run this school program. And, our race team has been to the States in the New England finals. But what it did to the kids of Rangeley is, and we're seeing it now, we've got the school program, and the 5-year closure kids are starting to come through, and they would have been teenage racers by now, and they're just picking it back up. But how we did what we did in getting open, it helps the people of Rangeley. It's another opportunity for businesses and things of that nature on bad snow years. And Rangeley is the kind of place that embraces snowmobiling and ice skating and cross-country skiing in the ski area. But anyway, the long of that story is I felt bad for the kids and the opportunity that was taken away from them that I had as a kid.
But it was a triumphant return, right? The community, there was the slogan, Rangeley Rises. There's a song that's called The Mountain Is You. And whenever I think about Saddleback, I think about that song. And
we had so many false starts. You know what I mean? I literally know everybody in Rangeley. In fact, I am related half of them. I know everybody. And we had so many false starts with so many potential buyers. I was like the little boy that called Wolf, and we got a buyer. We're soon. And so Arcturus bought us at the end of January of 2020. And thank goodness for Arcturus, because it was quite a procedure that they went through to buy us. And we just started putting it all together, and we get into November, and I just remember getting so psyched. We're going to open. And then the Thanksgiving surge was the big deal. But anyway, we made it through. We made it through that first year. December 5th of 2020 was the happiest day I've ever had here.
Aw.
that's awesome.
Aw.
I love hearing that.
What's the happiest day you've ever had here?
Great question.
Yeah, good question. I think probably the first day I was here, because I had been out of the ski industry for a while, and to know that I was going to be able to come back in and be a meaningful part of something that was pretty special. That was a pretty exciting day for me, to know that, hey, this is real. I'm back at a really cool place with a great group of people that is on an upward trajectory.
So every mountain has a character of its own and characters. Can you describe, both of you can answer this if you want, the character of Saddleback? And you can also talk about some of the characters if you want to, if any are notable enough to mention.
Great question. I think one of the things that makes Saddleback different from other mountains is that we do have an independent character to us, and people really identify with that and appreciate it. We're not a commodity. We treat people different when they come here, and the things that we do a little bit different, we go out of our way to try to solve, guest problems and make their visit here as easy as possible. And we constantly get comments about like, oh, so-and-so took care of me, or, someone in the guest services office was able to solve my problem quickly and they had a smile on their face. And I know everyone aspires to do that, but it really seems like that's something that people identify that's different here. And they constantly talk about a vibe, and Jim can talk about the vibe. It's difficult to define what that vibe is, but there's a feeling that you have when you arrive. It's perpetuated by all of the people that you interact with. It's perpetuated by the experience that you have on the hill. And then when you walk away, you have this giant smile on your face, and it's hard to wipe that smile off people's face, as they're departing. I would add one person that I really think is a character, and that is a young man named Jack.
Okay.
Who is the son of our
Good call.
Our ski patrol director.
Okay.
I kind of imagine that he's like Jim was when he was a kid. Knows everybody knows him, very well behaved, very respectful, but he's in and around everything here. He knows everything that's going on before we know it sometimes.
I love it.
How old is he?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
8?
Yeah. He's probably older. He's 10. I'm a horrible judge of age.
Yeah, somewhere in that age. He is not a teenager yet.
He was at the Boston Ski Show with us.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So to go to what Matt said, I say that we have truckloads of characters here. Every person here has their own little personality, and they all have a say. But I'll also say this, and I've said this before, I don't know of a group of employees that love a place more than they do here. They love what they do. They work hard, extremely dedicated and loyal. We have fun. We're a big ski area, but we're also a ski area where we go through the lodge every day, and from one person to the next, about their family, about their kids, if their dog's sick, all of that stuff right there. And I love it.
I do not ski at all. I'm like a ski mountain widow. He doesn't hunt, so he's around in the fall, but as soon as the first snowflake is around, I don't see him. He's talking about how many inches each mountain got and all these things that I kind of tune out. But I've been hearing so many great things about Saddleback, and I have just been under the assumption for the last few years, like Saddleback is the place to go. And you just got that recognition from Ski Magazine as the #2 place on the whole East Coast. Am I getting that
1.
Right? Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We were #2 last year, and Jared Emerson, our ops director, says, what do you want? We were really excited, and Jared looks right at us and he goes, "We should be #1." You know what I mean? And here we are. So
wow.
We'll take that. We'll take that for sure.
Okay, I apologize. Tell me more about what #1 means. I mean, how come we don't have a billboard in here?
We do. Well, we did at the ski show that we were just at in Boston. We had a big billboard that had the #1 badge on it. So
congratulations.
We were certainly touting that.
We're lucky that we have a ski area that has this old school charm. And maybe the trails are a little bit thinner, a little wider. The natural obstacles are in there. We have a ton of natural terrain, and we're lucky enough to get good natural snow a lot. And we have glades to die for. Our glades are real, and we have every level of glade from double black diamond to black diamond to blues to greens. So the transition for a skier or a rider, I mean, we have them down here for the kids.
That's where I was the last time I was here. Not just for kids, but kid at heart.
But the accolades that we got in the reader survey, is the grooming. I can't remember the numbers, but customer service, parking, grooming, snowmaking, all of these things that are so important to us as the company. And it's awesome. And the readers spoke. And I'll also say this: when anybody walks away from here, I don't doubt that was why we got that, because they love it here. The minute you pull into the parking lot when the Jamaicans are playing music and the vibes going on, to when you get to the front steps and the hosts are picking your skis up and helping them, and there's someone inside, till the minute you leave, the lift operators know people's kids.
And let's not forget about the pub, which is where I usually can be found. I'm après all day. But I took just talking about, folks that don't normally ski or beginners, the lessons that you all offer here are world class. I think I remember that the woman who gave me a lesson a few years ago was either a junior Olympian or some up on that caliber. I don't know if you want to speak to the instructors that you have and the lessons and things like that here.
We have a number of people who have been here for a long time, and there's a ton of experience there. And we really do try to go out of our way to create a personal experience, that it's not just that you're buying a lesson. They're really trying to understand you. And, like you've asked questions about us, right? They're asking questions. Why are you here? What are you doing? What do you like to do? That goes beyond just teaching them skiing, to get them to relax. And when they can relax and they can be honest about what they want to get out of the lesson, we can provide that better experience. So yeah, it's a process, and it all comes down to that personal touch. And the more we can have that personal touch, the more we can impact someone's experience.
We also have a ski area that's segregated to the point of terrain difficulty, that the instructors have the ability to pick their terrain very easily and,
customize your
the experience.
Experience,
yes.
And that's one of the biggest things that the industry hears, is that the beginner experience is often impacted by other skiers. So when they're in a very crowded situation, or there are intermediate and expert skiers that are skiing quickly by them, they feel intimidated because they're not at that level. And so we are able to provide that differentiated experience that really allows them to feel safe as they're learning.
That's important.
That impacts their perception of, what they're learning.
That's great.
And for people who are listening today and they're like, okay, I want to go get a lesson, how do they do that? Is it like booked out for a month? Can we shed some light on how that works?
A number of ways that you can take a lesson here. Certainly you can call our main number, and they'll send you down to our ski school, and they can figure out where you belong in that lesson. You can also book those lessons online directly. We try to make it as easy as possible for people to, make a lesson. And then there's that human touch piece again, that we're always trying to reach out to people and say, hey, what are you trying to get out of this lesson? How do you, want to proceed with your lesson in terms of certain skills that you're trying to improve upon, or, is it something that you feel you're not doing well, so that we can focus on those kind of pieces.
I'm at the pizza fries.
Yeah,
pizza
all
fries.
I can ever do.
That's it.
It's as old as time in the ski industry, and it still works to this day.
I just want to eat pizza and fries, so that helps.
So the number one people leave skiing when they're beginners is because they're not comfortable in their equipment or their environment. They don't feel safe, and it's either too cold, the boots don't fit, or when they're out there skiing, they don't feel safe. So the ski school is so important to the ski business in general, but to us, it's important because the only way you get a skier or a rider to return is make that lesson something to remember, and it's very important for our ski school to do that. And I see it when they take those kids out there and the people out there every day. They enjoy what they do as well.
That's
one of the things that I really love about skiing in general in the industry is that it provides the ability for such a wide range of people to have a similar experience. And it doesn't mean that they're all skiing at the same ability level, but there's this sense of freedom and sort of release that you have when you first learn, and that first time you get on the skis and you slide, or when you're in that pizza and French fries mode, you still have the same feeling that someone who is an expert skier has, when they're in the trees, or an intermediate is doing a groom trail, and they're first time they carve a turn, or all of a sudden they get a little faster than they were used to, and they're like, oh,
sense of accomplishment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can walk off the hill with that exact sense of exuberance, regardless of what your level.
I felt that this summer. I stood up on a surfboard for the first time.
Oh.
So I thought that was a big deal.
That is a deal.
I was on a baby wave, but
that's still a deal.
I stood up on the water. The Winter Olympics are coming up this winter, and I'm just curious about if you could win gold in any Winter Olympic sport, if you could go back in time and you were an Olympian, which Winter Olympic sport would you want to win gold in? And it could be any of them.
Hands down, men's downhill.
Men's downhill, all right.
Moguls.
Moguls? I love it.
What is moguls?
Mogul bumps.
Oh.
Freestyle skiing.
Oh, okay.
It's bumps, jumps, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Certainly couldn't do it now.
Have you ever tried to do the ski jump? I know at Black Mountain, right, in Rumford, they used to actually do the ski jumping there.
I jumped in high school.
Did you?
Yes, so did I.
Did you?
Both of us.
Have you seen that? I mean, that is
Distance
so
jumping.
scary.
I mean, I think I've seen it on TV.
It's not as scary as you think it is. It is definitely intimidating, but you're never really, at least at the high school level, that far off the ground.
Okay.
Because the contour of the hill follows your trajectory. So you're only like 2 feet off the ground the entire time. You're still in the air and you're still going pretty fast. You still have to stop at the bottom of the hill. But yeah, it's
an
experience.
cool.
Ski jumping was very cool in high school, and I jumped all over Maine. And
Wow.
it was very cool.
I remember jumping. I think it was Gunstock had a hill because I grew up in New Hampshire, and they had a relatively short run out at the end.
Oh gosh.
And the school buses would park at the end of the run.
It's quite the
And it was
backstop.
a challenge to make sure that you stopped in time before you hit the school buses.
Realize these skis are like 8 or 9 feet long, and they're wide, and they've got the grooves in them. They're not turning skis. They're meant to go straight.
Well, in terms of the terrain that you all have here, it's world class for a number of reasons, but your backcountry terrain, right, is some of the most notable that I've heard about. Is that an accurate statement?
We have an uphill trail that's separate from the trail system. Uphill skiing is a bit of an anomaly in the ski business because a lot of people uphill ski and they try to sneak in. And if you're on a regular trail, you've got two-way traffic. You've got someone going up and someone coming down, and the person coming down could be at a high rate of speed, and they don't mix well. We are lucky enough that we have a trail system that was built by volunteers, mostly good friends of ours from the ski patrol and some of their friends that have a couple little loops on it, but it takes it right off of the trail. You go up by the Nest, and in the Nest is our mid-mountain restaurant that you've got to see. You've got to come up here in the winter and see it. And the Nest is a spot that there's no skier is in New England have anything like that. But it goes by the Nest, and then you make it right to the summit. And without skier traffic, you're in the woods. The experience is phenomenal. I do it. I should do it more often, but I love it. You get away from that's quaint, that's quiet, and
in conjunction with that, the gladed terrain that we have is really a differentiator for us. And a lot of places have glades, and they have great glades, but I think ours are a bit different in the way that they were cut, in that you have a little bit more room typically in the glades. So you have this opportunity to, not necessarily, you're turning between the trees, but you're not turning because the tree is in the way. You're still able to pick your path and figure out where you want to go. Casablanca is a great example of it's a much more wide open glade. So it provides a very different experience that you really don't get very much in New England.
I want a glade as wide as the Penobscot River. That would be the safest glade.
That's called a trail.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Speaking of trails, the Appalachian Trail comes across, right, the ridge of Saddleback, and I know a lot of thru hikers come down into the village and go to Rangeley Adventure Company and Apalachian to stock up. Any thoughts about the role that do you do any trail maintenance for the Appalachian Trail? I know that's a very active group that does trail work, picks people up, takes them to other trailheads. I don't know if you all are involved with them at all.
Yeah, we work directly with them on a number of fronts, trying to make sure that people understand and they're educated about what it takes to be up in the high peaks of Maine, and that the weather's very different. They typically have volunteers in the summer that are up there. They'll have them up there in the winter on key days as well, so that people don't just sort of say, oh, I'm going to do this hike in my sneakers. And I think in the White Mountains just a few weeks ago, there was a whole group that had to be rescued because they weren't prepared to be out there. So we work with them on that. We interface with them on a regular basis, about real estate development things, because it is part of the scenic view shed, and get their opinion on what we're doing. We do work with them regularly.
We've got 2 employees that came off the AET. Well, one of them doesn't work here anymore. I think he's going to work here this year. Guy walked down. We had something going on. I spoke to the general manager and got hired. And Levi, and that works does a lot of works with our ticket processes and stuff like that. He came through the Appalachian Trail, stopped in and got hired here, and
didn't finish up at Katahdin, just came?
They finished. They finished.
All right.
You're not doing the AT unless you finish.
All right.
What are you most excited about for the 2026 season? What do you have that's new for people to really look forward to?
We don't have a lot that's new this year. I think really our focus has been on improving our guest services component and making sure that we're really working directly with our guests to make their experiences easy and as seamless as possible. There was so much investment that was made back when the resort opened that Jim was talking about, that we're still trying to catch up, and we're not in a position to really invest in new lifts or new trails or new snowmaking. There's some minor investments in some snowmaking that we did this year, some things that make things easier, but most of the investment has kind of been behind the curtain in terms of how we're selling tickets, how we're putting packages together, how we're making sure that when people arrive, it's super easy. Fulfillment is easy, and they can get out on the trail as quickly as possible.
We have this crew of managers and supervisors that can recognize what we can do better and improve upon. And I think that every year we put it back on the table and what can we do? And I think I'm most excited about, figuring the things out that we didn't do so great last year and try to do it better this year, we're here, and I'm going to use the words of Jared Emerson again. We are here to provide fun, safe, fun, wholesome activities.
We're here for the fun.
We're here for the fun.
I'm here for the fun.
It's the only way that I say this all the time. I'm a professional ski bum, and I couldn't have a better job in the world. I couldn't ask for a better job in the world.
Awesome.
One of the other things that I do, we kind of touched on it, but there are a few different mountains in Maine. I won't name any other ones. But what makes Saddleback, for someone who hasn't been here before, what makes you so special?
For me, it's a combination of things. There isn't any one thing about Saddleback that, is the defining, piece of Saddleback. It's a combination of, you have these absolutely phenomenal views when you're here that, is punctuated by the lakes at the bottom of the hill that you don't get too many places in New England, surrounded by, a real mountainous environment. We sit at a higher elevation than most ski resorts. So we're sitting at a base elevation here of about 2,500 feet. So we're protected a little bit, and you probably even saw as you arrived today, when you were in Rangeley, it felt a little bit like winter, but as you got here, it really felt like winter, and so you have that difference in elevation that really makes a difference. It's the product that our team puts out there, and lots of ski areas have great people that provide great product, but it's all of these things together that make this experience something special. And then the last thing for me isn't even a Saddleback thing, it's Rangeley.
That's what I was just going to say. That's that Rangeley.
Yeah, we have this connection to Rangeley that's real. I mean, people like Jim who've lived here his entire life, that have these connections, and the support from the community is so fantastic. But it's beyond that. It's very few ski areas have an actual community that has been here for 100+ years providing experiences for tourists. That's what Rangeley was built on.
Yeah.
And so we have this legacy, but we have a ton of restaurants down that provide great experiences. There's all kinds of stuff. There's other things for people to do beyond just come to the ski area, and they want to stay for that. So it's really a great combination of things that makes this a pretty special place.
I don't know if there's a more fun place to be than Rangeley. I got to see it all the time. I mean, I know there is, but I'll go back to what we started. What makes us different is our vibe. And I know everybody talks about their vibe and stuff like that. Our vibe is different. You could need something and ask the person that's shoveling the deck, hey, where do I go for this? And that person's going to jump right up and say, this is what you need to do and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter where it's at. And like I said, it starts in the parking lot, and it starts with, your parking lot crew, and then you get into the yellow jackets. So the hosts, which our hosts are so awesome. And I mean, I think with the grooming and snowmaking, all of that, the host comments are right up there, right even with them, of how happy people are and how they love it when they get here. And then you come in, and the lodge is set up. So, the cafeteria is downstairs, and our pub is real old school ski area pub. It is a real old school ski area pub.
Awesome and so much fun.
Old memorabilia, the views on both sides.
Seriously.
One view goes up the mountain, one view goes downtown.
It's one of the longest bars, like that you can look at everybody, and everybody feels like they're a part of, the.
We always say a millionaire could be sitting next to a lift operator, pounding down PBRs or drinking PBRs, and just telling stories and in the same boat, doing the same thing and loving life. And I think that's kind of what differentiates us.
Yeah, that is really special. I had a question that I wanted to ask too, which is, what is the thing that you hear the most after someone has visited the first time?
Friendliest.
Okay.
Real friendly people. I hear it literally a few times a day. Everybody advertises it, everybody's this, but how friendly people are here, how good our staff treats our customers, whether it be in the lift line, whether it be a ski patroller or a ski instructor, every one of them, whether it's a snow shoveler. I hear it numbers of times every
It's a high compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything different to add. I mean, we hear it all the time.
Makes us proud.
So great, and they go out of their way to say hi to someone and look them in the eye, and just connect with people.
I think that's a Mainer quality too. The looking in people's faces and saying hi to people. My husband took me to New York City and said, don't do that thing where you say hi to everybody. So he's not from Maine. He was like, that doesn't play down here. I said, oh, all right. He's like, do you want to get mugged? I was like, no. So tell us what the future holds for Saddleback.
So, for us, we really need to grow a bit. We're still a small ski area. There's sort of a critical mass of, the number of skiers on an annual basis. So we need to get to that point to make sure that we're in a position that we're financially viable year after year, and that we can make sure that we're offering this experience and we're a continued part of Rangeley. The biggest thing is really creating additional bed base for us. And what that looks like is certainly not defined at this point, but it's a combination of creating some for sale real estate products that would be, from single family lots that people could build a house on. We have an application in right now for 20 lots that would be ski in, ski out lots that would be available as soon as next summer. Looking at vertical products, townhomes, condominiums, something like that people can move into. We've definitely found that people love the convenience of just being able to move in and not build their own place. So we're also in the process of a project right now that we're going to release over the winter that would be some ski and ski out townhomes.
Wow.
That hopefully will be in construction next summer with as well. And then we really would like to construct a hotel at some point if we can, just knowing that, you need that, what they refer to in the industry as a warm bed base, that people are occupying these rooms on a regular basis because those people are buying lift tickets, they're taking lessons, they're coming to the pub to eat, they're enjoying everything that we have to offer. And it's the single biggest complaint that we get. It's not easy to get here, and people, because of the distance, they want to be able to stay.
Yeah, and they want to stay. Well, speaking of that, so, with additional lodging opportunities, do you see more year-round? There are definitely plenty of year-round activities to take advantage of in the Rangeley Lakes region, for sure, but specifically up here on the mountain?
Yeah, we've been offering lift serve mountain biking for the last 2 years, and it's been well received. Certainly we'd like to grow that as well. And then we really expanded our summer scenic lift rides.
Oh, nice.
This last year, and it was a rousing success. We were busy, every day we were open, short of a bad weather day. We've coupled that with experiences at the Nest.
Yeah.
So we provide brunches on select days, and then we have other events that we run up at the Nest. So there's a reason beyond just taking the scenic lift ride for people to come up and spend some time. And the comments that we get back from people who have gone to those brunches are just absolutely amazing. They just walk away. And, a ton of the people were local people who had never been to the top of Saddleback, had never come up here, taken a lift ride because they're not skiers.
Yeah.
And they were blown away by the
That's really
experience.
fun that they get to have that experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to come, even though I will probably not ski. I'll come for the lift
you
ride
go.
and the brunch.
Take the lift up to the Nest or a snowcat.
We have some dinners up there throughout the winter and stuff like that you should try to come and see. The Nest, I can't tell you enough about the Nest. That is something that everybody should have the opportunity to see. And we hope to expand that in the summertime too, to have more chairlift served Nest days open. Staffing, of course, is everything these days. And if we had more staffing and especially in the hospitality business, and Rangeley is spread out and the competition's hard for, people like that work in restaurants and stuff like that. But if we could have that restaurant open more often and more chairlift rides, it would be a great summer opportunity to go with the weddings and things like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was just going to touch on that as well, that, we've certainly done a good job with weddings. And we're trying to expand that offering. And, there aren't a lot of sort of the place you need to go in Western Maine for weddings. And we think we can provide that, both because we're providing a phenomenal guest experience, but we have this beautiful location that we're right in the middle of, and being able to tap into that. The other thing that we're really trying to develop is to use the Nest for private parties and things like that. So if you have a birthday party or a corporate event, someone wants to come, and, we can basically use that as a reserved base lodge for people on a weekday. So that you could come and you could have lunch there. We can provide the lunch for you. You can come and go, use the bathrooms, but it's your own personal little oasis on top of the mountain.
Love that. Vanessa just took a note. She's going to be sharing that with somebody.
I will be talking with some people and you guys.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the show today. We are going to do a lightning round, but first, a word from our sponsors. A big thank you and congratulations to Saddleback Mountain. They were just named the #1 ski resort in the East by Ski Magazine. And if you've been up there lately, you know why. Incredible terrain, a great community vibe, and year-round mountain fun. Whether you're skiing, riding, or just hanging out on the deck, Saddleback is the place to be. We also want to thank Harcourt Waterfront and Fine Properties. They specialize in exceptional homes across the Maine coast and lakes region, pairing global reach with true local expertise. And thank you to Morton & Furbish Vacation Rentals. Whether you want a cozy camp or a high-end home on the lake, they're the go-to team in the mountains. They make it easy to plan a stay that feels just right for your trip. And we're back. Here comes the lightning round. Vanessa's going to kick us off.
Okay. Are you more fresh pow or groomed corduroy?
Fresh pow.
Fresh pound.
Okay. What's your go-to dish on the menu in the pub that everybody needs to try?
Chicken sando.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. There's gluten-free. I am gluten-free pizzas up there to die for.
The pizzas are so good. Yes, but now I have to try the chicken sando.
Favorite chairlift on the mountain?
Rangeley.
The Kennebago.
Best trail for someone who wants to fall in love with Saddleback?
1 or 2.
America,
That's 1.
because the views are just spectacular, and Casablanca.
Is that your second answer too?
Well, I was thinking more of the intermediate type skier. I was seeing America for certain as some of the best views of Mount Washington and that whole valley and stuff like that. But Red Devil goes off of that same thing, and the view of Rangeley and the Rangeley Lake Basin. It is the views you can't beat. But Casablanca is not too bad either.
Powder Day, first trail you hit, no hesitation.
Gray Ghost when it's groomed underneath.
Golden Smelt.
I love that your answers are different.
I know. I love the names of the trails too.
One thing you always keep in your coat pocket.
Leatherman.
Leatherman? Okay.
Always on me.
If Saddleback had a mascot, what would it be?
I would say Jack.
That's a great answer.
I mean, that kid right there has got more spirit and spunk than, he is an inspiring young man.
I hope he listens.
I would also add a moose.
Yes.
Just
And we
because
need to hear the moose story.
Actually, that's true.
We absolutely see moose here on a regular basis. And, as you probably saw online with social media, there was one that was up at the top of the mountain where they normally don't go. And, we were lucky enough that we got a great picture that was taken by one of our season pass holders. And, it just really cool experience.
You wanted to ski tight line.
Yeah. It was getting close.
And last question, who is more obsessed with snow quality?
Probably Jim, just because it's been his focus for a big part of his career. I think it's important to both of us, but it's in his blood. It's
the number one gold star of Saddleback. It's been the snow quality, and I started making snow years ago and stuff like that, and we're very proud of the successes that we've had and how we make snow. It is a big part of our day, for sure.
Perfect.
So fun.
Thank you so much.
It was awesome.
awesome.
That was awesome.
Thank you
Very
guys.
cool.
Yeah, this
You
is
did
awesome.
great.